Hi, everyone. So, since we're about to start September, which is the beginning of a new school year here in New York, I'm getting a lot of questions lately from friends and family about whether or not Chloe and I will have a first day of homeschool. And if we're going to, just basically have a day that we're starting, quote unquote, our homeschool year. And my answer to the people who've been asking me is no, because I don't really foresee summer to fall transition really changing what's happening in our home education. The way that I homeschool right now, and I won't say forever because you never know when things might change, but our homeschool journey, what it looks like right now, is that we're learning through life. And we're learning in the summer, we're learning in the fall, winter, spring. It doesn't matter the season, it doesn't matter the day of the week, it doesn't matter if it's a Monday or a Saturday. We're always learning, but we're learning as we live, as we experience life. And that was really my number one reason for choosing homeschool for Chloe, is that someone who taught public school for 20 years, I know what it's like to be in a very arbitrary environment where learning takes place mainly at a desk in a seated position. Even when they're away from their desk, they're typically, children are sitting on the rug, on the floor in a circle. And there's very little action, activity, and hands-on experiences occurring in the institution of a school building. It doesn't mean it never happens. Of course it does. And of course, as teachers and educators, we try to make learning as authentic as possible. Unfortunately, we're in a building, and there's a lot of parameters, a lot of rules, and a lot of limitations as to how much we can bring learning to life. And we're with large groups of children, and it's just, everything is a little bit more difficult. You're taking away that element of authenticity, choice, interest, motivation, what those kids are inspired by individually, because you're in a group setting and you're grouping children strictly by age alone. And like I said, the result of that is that there's a lot of limitations. So what I wanted to do was basically have no limitations on Chloe's education. And I wanted to have more time together as a family. I wanted her upbringing and her childhood years to be spent with her parents. Not that children who go to school don't spend time with their parents, but unfortunately you are losing the majority of their waking time, especially when they're little. And for me, as a parent who went back to work from the ages of 3 to 6, when Chloe was 3 to 6 years old, just about, I was working full time, and I felt like I was being robbed of her best hours. I felt like the early morning hours, I was home with her, but I was rushed and I was stressed and I was trying to get myself ready for work. And the evening hours, I was tired, and so was she. And there was a lot of responsibility on our plate as far as, taking care of things outside of the work week. There was just so much else that needed to happen and be done, that I just felt like we weren't getting as much valuable time together as I would have liked and hoped for. So that was another big factor. But the number one reason, from someone who has a lot of experience within the system, was that I wanted Chloe's education to be driven by her interests, her passions, her strengths, first and foremost, because I do believe that what serves children best is to really give them a lot of resources and opportunities to develop their strengths. And of course, I think with everybody in life, it's not that we want to ignore weaknesses. Of course, we want to always improve and grow and get better at things. That, not every weakness has to be a weakness forever. We want to have a growth mindset and believe that we can get better at things. So I'm not saying I'm going to ignore skills or, parts of life that are more challenging for her. However, I do feel that school is typically a deficit model where we're focusing really on just two main academic goals. And for children that those goals are a weakness, or those skills are a weakness, all the bulk of their education becomes trying to remediate that, trying to fix it and reform it. Where for my child, I wanted the bulk of her education to really be focused on what will probably be the most profitable, successful area where she's going to really soar and fly, somewhere where she shines. Because I think that unfortunately that gets left behind a lot when we're in a school situation. Sometimes kids end up losing who they are, and by the time they graduate and become an adult, they really don't know anymore. what they're good at, what they love, what turns them on, because their education was focused really on a very narrow curriculum. So anyway, I know that was a long explanation about why I don't have a first day of homeschool coming up in the beginning of September, but that gives you a little bit of information regarding my philosophy around education, why I've chosen to homeschool, and why we're not necessarily going to have a formal school year that occurs Monday through Friday and begins on September, 4th and ends on June 21st. Instead, it's really more about learning through our everyday experiences, building healthy rhythms that we kind of build our day around and our habits around, because I think your habits form the person that you are, and just trying to learn authentically. So if you're interested in more of the way that I homeschool and how my 20 years experience as an educator can help guide you on your journey, if this sounds like something that you ascribe to and you'd like to have some support with, I do have a homeschool course for parents, Homeschooling with Confidence. I will link it up. It's in my bio and on my website, so I'll make sure to link those. And I hope to hear from you more soon. Bye.